Footy friends, Brett Deledio, Tom Sheridan. How are we, boys?
Where's Barlow?
Barlow's he's away. He's got a
mission.
Yeah, he's on a mission. Where's he at a wedding?
Is he?
He's
Up on the Goldie.
Have a Goldie. Yeah. Wedding.
Is
Grand
he,
final
is
day
he the
wedding.
MC? He loves that gig.
He loves the MC.
He would have got
doesn't
paid,
he?
no doubt.
I reckon he's
Yeah,
like,
he's best mate
he's
with
in
the
the
game.
bridal party. I think he's the best mate of the groom, and I think he got paid for it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He doesn't go anywhere
finds
without a
new
little
ways, that
cashy
bloke.
fee, that bloke.
Hey, he's a good man. I was wondering why he wasn't getting going in the WhatsApp group.
Hey, you're a bit rusty, my friend. You had a big weekend.
Big one,
Yeah.
Just these bloke lagers in front of us. Big shout out to bloke in a bar, but I'm looking at him right now and I don't want a bar of him today.
Yeah, you're a walking billboard, aren't you? You know how to look after everyone.
Oh, well, you got him in front of me, mate.
Yeah.
You got to give him a flag.
That's a beautiful jumper.
Got the Riggs hoodie on.
Yeah, that's beautiful,
We're
isn't it?
waiting for
Yeah,
ours.
yeah,
Yeah,
everyone just
And those
discounted.
sunnies. We're waiting for those sunnies.
You got the sunnies, didn't they? They rocked up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the blue lights.
Dylan Friends code. Hey, Brettles, how are you?
Good, mate.
You
yeah.
worked.
I
You're a busy
worked.
man.
Yeah. I was in the box for ABC, so good view. Not a great spectacle, you know.
jeez.
But they didn't really show up this morning, did
No,
they?
we're going to dissect it all today. It was one of those days. I was lucky enough to go to the game as well, and you sort of went there, and I knew Geelong would win. Sort of in my head, I was like, definitely Geelong. But then you sort of trick yourself into just wanting a good game.
Yeah.
You know what though?
100%.
Swans are young. Like you never know.
bring pressure.
They bring pressure. Who knows what can happen on the day? But it just didn't happen.
So I was on with Mick Moldhouse, and I was saying that all at the start of the game, you know, pressure, close game, hopefully around 10, 12 points is what I think. After the game, Mick's like, yeah, look, I said 36 points in my article. I would have said 50 if I could have.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so you knew this was going to happen, did you?
Yeah.
I saw there was this moment when the game was about to start. Like I was like, you know, as we said, the first bounce, the centre square bounce, you know, just everything's just the crowd's going nuts. But when they were doing the national anthem, I was just looking at the camera scan a few Sydney players. I'm going, some of these blokes haven't played many games, and I'm thinking, fuck, they're pretty inexperienced.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, what happened? It was almost like it was pretty obvious when you look back. Like it was a very young list versus a very mature list, and you watch the game, and every contest Geelong would win or halve all day.
Let's get into that shortly, but can I just say, boys, we're all access areas here. We get the players, we get the names, we get the chats.
Got the wristbands.
On the wristbands.
Oh, we can see
We've got
it.
Mitchy Duncan waiting in the Zoom link. They're on Mad Monday and they're still coming on the show. Let's welcome in now. Yes, Mitchell.
Yes.
Congratulations, our friend. You're looking very, very handsome there. What have you come dressed as?
Well, this is a true Dylan Buckley haircut.
You've still got more than me and you're an 80-year-old man. Hey, Brett Deledio, Tommy Sheridan in the house, mate. Just wishing you a big congratulations on the win.
Well done, mate. Super.
Thanks, boys.
What's happening today,
It's a
Mitchell?
bit loud here. Sorry, it's a bit loud here. The replay's been going non-stop.
I can imagine. What's happening? Where are you boys at the moment?
We're at the Sporting Globe in Geelong. We started at the Wharf Shed at Billy Brown. This is one of his hideouts, but we've moved on to the Sporting Globe.
Mitch, talk us through the day, mate. Let's go back to the start. We've just been miffed at the moment. We're going through it. I was at the game. Brett was at the game. Tommy Sheridan was hanging out with his mum and dad. How was the day in itself? Did you expect to win by that much?
Oh, no, I didn't expect to win by that much. No, I didn't. No, not. I thought it was going to be a real tough game. You know, they were a great team. Coached really well drilled. But we were just. I think whoever we would have played, I think we would have beaten. We were on, and it was a good day.
Mitchy, well done, mate. I've got a question for you. During the game, you're up by like 70 or 80 points. At what point did you go, we've got it in the bag? Was it the second or third quarter?
The first 10 minutes, Tommy, but it was a tough little start. But the big fella, Hawkey, kicked those couple of. They probably calmed the nerves a little bit, but then probably wasn't to that rally in the third quarter. I thought, shit, it's going to be hard for them to come back from here. But the skipper at three-quarter time is like, we were all a bit on edge, and he's like, boys, just relax, we've won. And I was like, mate, you can't say that. I'm not for that. Sorry, but it probably wasn't until you obviously think you're going to win, but it probably wasn't until the final time where it really feels like, geez, we've won it.
Mitchy, you've had a couple of good days, no doubt. We've seen that Jez has had 30 minutes of sleep, apparently, on Saturday night. How did you go in that department, and who's been best on so far?
Oh, Jez, he's been best on. You should see him right now. I'm going to try and get him over in a minute. But a couple of young boys, Cooper Stevens, Tom Stewart's he had a late one last night. His eyes are in the back of his head at the minute. A couple the old boys. Johnny Segler likes to throw a few back. He's a fast drinker. So you want to be wary of him. Don't go too close to him. But there's plenty of boys that are having a good time. But we look after each other this time of year. It can get quite rough.
Hey, Mitchell, just quickly talk us through the game because I want to talk about that quickly. What's those big moments for you? Was it Tom Hawkins setting the scene with those 2 goals in the first quarter? It was absolutely huge. You could see the momentum swung straight away.
Big Jazz over here. Oh, here he comes. Look, Big Bird.
Hang on.
Oh,
Big
no.
Bird.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Jeremy.
Big Jerry.
Fellas, how are we?
Hey, Jeremy. What's happening?
I lost my beat.
Mate, how's the last few days been?
How's the 2 days been? Been long, boys. It's been long, but very. Got some sleep last night, which is good. My voice is gone, which is just stock standard this time of the year. But it's been fun. It's been fun.
How many beers did Dawes Simpson have the other night?
I reckon he had 40 handles. I'm not even joking. 40.
Hey,
I've got
mate.
that slab there. Hopefully, the keg. To last a week, and it's lasted one night.
Jerry, who's in your crosshairs for a wrestle, mate?
What's that, mate?
Who's in your crosshairs for a wrestle? You used to love one with Tobes. Who's in the crosshairs today?
Yeah. No one yet. Lids, I think I beat Toby 10 years in a row, but no one's really challenged me down here yet. So we'll have to wait and see as we get later on tonight. We're not that silly, so we're just staying clear of. We're staying clear of it. He drinks mid-strength though.
Yeah. Hey,
On you, fellas.
on your Jazz.
on you,
Congratulations, mate. Hey, Mitchy, last one before we let you go. Talk us through the celebration with the kit. Talk us through the celebration, you boys, over 30, dressing up. How did it all come about? Whose idea was it, and how do you all plan it?
It's Joel's idea, just because he's 45. But he mentioned it a few weeks ago, but we were kind of a bit tentative until we probably won, and then we really knuckled down and got things organised. So it was we had to turn it around pretty quickly, organise a few walking frames and a few other things. But he was the one. He led the charge.
Lastly, on Joel Selwood, I think it's hard for anyone the last few weeks to even say one bad word about him. Does a bloke do anything wrong?
He struggles to grow hair.
Guilty.
He's on the mosh. We've all seen the ads, but that's probably the only thing that he struggles with at the minute.
Awesome, mate. What's planned for next? Yeah, congrats, mate. We'll let you go. Enjoy the day. Shout out to the boys. And just confirmation that we're all friends, so it's good to get the Cats boys on. Go Cats.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Don't know what you said at the end, but go Cat.
See you, mate.
See you, mate.
See you, mate.
Hey, boys.
Oh, wow. Imagine that.
Oh, mate, it's what you play for, essentially, isn't it, dude? What you basically gets you out of bed first thing in the morning to get yourself, fully fit and ready to go for the end glory. But I was never lucky enough to get even play in that game, let alone win one. So no. I don't know what it's like. I can only watch on from afar and admire.
I love that 3/4 time from the skipper. Yeah. Just boys, we've won it. That is fucking,
just enjoy.
You just loved it. That that you just want to be all ears at 3/4 time, even half time. That's why I asked, because it got out to 80 points there in the third almost. So
they smacked them in that, like the start of that third quarter. It was like, well, can Sydney fire a shot and get back in this game? But I reckon their first 4 goals of that quarter were all defensive pressure. From their back squeezing down, but their forwards just applying elite pressure, and they just kept kicking them straight.
Oh, just ruthless, weren't they? Like, give them a couple, boys.
Oh, it was crazy. I was like obviously barracking for Geelong, wanted them to win, but I was almost hoping Sydney could just come back and make it a little bit interesting.
Make it 20 or 30 points or something,
Get it back in there. Let's just go through the game because there's so many bits and pieces. We've all got notes to go through. We've got no structure, just flow with it.
Yep.
I want to start with that first quarter. Mitch brought it up before. Tom Hawkins setting the scene against Tom Hickey's an absolute star ruckman too, but how he was able to kick the first 2 goals of the game was unbelievable. Like, if you want to talk about a big boy setting the tone, starting the game, how important was that?
Oh, exactly right, and that's where you utilise your big boy to do exactly that. But what was, I hate to throw people under the bus, what was Tommy McCartan doing as a centre half back? It's like, mate, he's going to do this and has done it all year. Get close so you can at least strike, but he overpowered him. And They were just good goals. When you get those, because you know how hard forward 50 goals are. So for him to bang those through, and it settles the nerves of everyone. Everyone's like, right, we're on here. Let's go.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the context like nearly 2 a game is bad? Like 2 against in a game is bad. So AFL club, as a team defense.
The coach should be going Bonser.
Yeah.
So as a team, to give context to anyone outside the AFL, like if you're starting and kicking 2 goals in a D50 stoppage, that's like as really, really bad. In a whole game, that's bad, let alone the first 2 goals.
Well, it's called life and death down there for a reason. It's like, well, you got to fight tooth and nail to try and stop it.
You mentioned Tommy McCartan, though. It's sad because I actually still think he was one of their best players on the day. Like, he did...
Nah.
You don't reckon?
Really?
He's a
he
good
gave
player.
2 goals in the third quarter.
No, but still,
he would have had
look at the
ball,
fucking
then
ball
kicked it
coming in
straight
there, though, mate.
Yeah,
Like,
bad
you can't
call.
stop Tom Hawkins with clean air.
Yeah, but he wasn't. He didn't have a good game. He had a kick. He
rattled.
kicked sideways. He had a lot of mistakes.
Got run down.
Robbie Fox, then. Can we agree on that?
He had a great game.
Robbie Fox had a
He
great game.
played on Big Bird.
Yeah, Big Bird was telling Big Bird up early, and then Big Bird saw the scoreboard and got on the end of a couple. Big Bird ended up with 18 and 2.
Oh no, which is a great game
So I
for
was like,
centre
it's a bit quiet,
Yeah.
Jezza, and then he just started when he kicked that. Can we just go to Big Bird's celebration?
Do you want to get him back?
mate.
Do you want to get him back on and call him a downhill skier?
He was a downhill skier. Well, Foxy played so well.
He
I thought,
did. Yeah,
geez,
he did.
that's a unique matchup. I thought Jezza would be licking his lips. He does play up the ground though, but Jezza's goal when he cracked the can.
How good was it?
Oh, mate, that's one of the greatest celebrations I've seen in AFL.
Do you remember that one at the Giants? I think you boys were there when he booted that one
Was it
out
me?
there, and he's giving it that one because he's kicked it so far out of the square. Where far has it gone? He just comes up with that unique stuff.
That cracking the can and then sculling it all on his face. It's fucking unbelievable.
I reckon he's still, at the moment, just on like him as a person. I think we've all known how funny he is, how much of a great personality he is, but now to translate it publicly, it's been unbelievable. Showing that side of him at his farm, jumping in his fucking dam, doing recovery, having his bar, like fucking
Medal
around with his
on his
cows.
calf.
Yeah. Even just like having a fire with a cat rolling around. Like, I don't even know if that's his cat, but there's just some cat that's always walking
Well,
through.
he's got the outdoor athlete channel that he started, and
Yeah.
I think he's been doing a lot behind the scenes. But I think that's made him come out of his shell a little bit, and he's on full display. Even putting the medal on the cow's neck,
Unbelievable.
and that was, I think it was about 4:30
We've
a.m.
done something a bit silly.
For
boys.
for anyone who didn't see that out there, he snuck into his paddock where there's about 4 calves
Yeah, 6,
around with Dor Simpson and Ryan Griffin and the rest of the crew, and they've put the premiership medal on the calf and just let it run out in the paddock in the middle of the night.
Jezza said, "Leave him alone. Let him go.
Let him
He's just
enjoy it.
off."
Go and enjoy it. I told you I'd be
So
I
back.
think Griff had to
good.
go back and get it. Oh, it's hilarious.
Watch this space, by the way. I've Producey getting involved with Jeremy Cameron. We're going to do a little life on the farm, filming for a day. It could be
nice.
some of the best content you've ever seen.
Oh, hilarious.
Isaac Smith,
Yeah.
first quarter as well.
The old Silver Fox.
If you could say as a wingman, you're going to kick 2 and have 9 in the first quarter.
Should've
you
got on
take
for
that
Norm.
every day of the week.
Oh, 100%. He's the only bloke down there who didn't have to spray the grey hair into his own loaf.
Just on that, how important are wingmen? You know, they're underrated. The wingmen. That's
Good ones. Yeah, good ones are.
ones.
You lose Holmes, you get Smith at his best. It's unbelievable.
What about in hindsight as well? You look back, and even I was probably guilty of this too. You go, all right, Isaac Smith. He's won 3 flags at Hawthorn. He's going to Geelong, wants to retire down there and live down the beach. You go, well, is he going there for the right reasons? These aren't my thoughts, but in general, you're thinking that. You go, is he going down there? Is he going to go down there and retire, get a few more years, and then finish up down the beach? To go down there and do what he's done, and
Solid contributor.
and now winning a Norm Smith
Yeah.
and a
On
flag.
the biggest day. And
He's
that's
won
the thing.
4 flags, and the bloke got drafted at 21. We forget this. He was a mature age pick, I think, at 21 years of age.
Played at Dan with Grigor,
Yeah.
I reckon. Anyway, he's well, not with Grigor, but Grigor's club. He, I spoke to him in, I reckon it was late last year. I saw him down in Anglesey. We're just in the same place, and he used to say, "Mate, I just love it. I love the lifestyle that I've got down here. Young family. Just recently had another new bub. So he's." Mate, it's where the older boys tend to go. And there's a reason why I tried to get down there myself before I went to the Giants. It just looked like a grouse lifestyle.
Really?
Live in Torquay, go and train in Geelong, and then, have a big hometown that just loves coming along, which is the country boy in me that's just like, that's exactly what you play for.
So we're not skipping over. Did you try and get down to Geelong? Was that a thing, was it? I didn't know that. Was
that was, end of 2016. I met with Scotty and Steve Hocking, who was in charge before he came to the AFL and then went back.
Wow.
Had a meeting and
How
it
come
just
it
didn't eventuate.
didn't go through?
No, there was just I probably left it a little bit too late in terms of letting them getting their things all sorted.
Yeah.
And then it was, they had 0 room to move and no deal could be done with Richmond.
That's exciting.
It's a great club.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have met, and I wouldn't be sitting here now.
No, exactly.
So,
And like, you know,
in hindsight,
what premiership? I was sitting here on a Monday having a bloke in a bar with.
I don't reckon I would have been playing at 35. I wouldn't have been playing at 35.
Half
still.
the boys are 35. Joel Selwood. This could go a show in itself.
Yeah.
Let's just run through his career. Okay, he's won 3 flags now. He won 3 flags earlier in the week. He's done the gesture for Gary Ablett, which, in all seriousness, could be one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen.
Mate, did that get your heartstrings?
I actually got a bit emotional,
Yeah, so did I.
and just thinking about it. For those again who haven't heard it, it's always good to repeat. Went to Gary Ablett
during the week,
and his wife Jordan, who with their son Levi has a rare conditional disease that unfortunately isn't looking too good for him long term.
Yep.
But to then gesture for Joel Selwood to Gary Ablett to say, mate, I'd love to run out with your son.
I think an Ablett needs to be involved on grand final day.
Yeah. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Mate, and I was exactly the same, but to see the smile on the kid's face, I was like, this could go one of 2 ways. I don't know what kids are like.
Yeah.
When Joel's grabbed him, obviously got a great connection with him, so he understands, knew who Joel was, but grabs him through the banner, and the kid's just beaming. Could have fed him a banana sideways. Like, he was just ear to ear.
Awesome. So good. He did. They just did everything well all day and all year. Like, even after the game, he's grabbing people out of the stands. And
Young Sam from Geelong,
is
who's
that
the
his
property
name?
steward, I think. He's done a lot of
just
stuff with them.
Water boy does.
Couldn't get off the fence. He just grabbed him and just picked him over. And the boys are getting around him. I think he was there at the end of the day when they went back to Geelong, and the Auskick kids we were talking about, straight over there.
Gives the kid the boots.
Very composed unit, Joel, as well. Like, it didn't look like the moment. Just even at the parade, they interviewed him, and he was just very relaxed.
Yeah,
and been here before.
Experience gives you that, I suppose,
doesn't it?
Because he's been there before 3 times before that. But I would have been, if that was me, I'm thinking about how good this is for me, and I'm enjoying this. I'm lapping up, but he's gone outside of himself. Here's my boots to this young kid. He's thought about all of this. I'm going to share the experience with the Oz kickers. And then to, like we spoke about the Ablett thing, but then to go and get young Sammy Morford, who's, a kid with Down syndrome, who's loves the limelight apparently away from it all. As soon as the cameras come out, the boys say that he's there. And he's just like, I'm here again on the sweat and water. But he's, to bring him out onto the field and make him feel a part of it. Like, it's just thinking of other people before yourself, is it?
Family club as well. Like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but even a past, like, I don't think, the wives and partners, kids, family members have been along the ground.
That's club.
Like, they were all on the ground. Like, they were just
it's a great club. It's just, you can see why they're always playing finals. I reckon they salary sacrifice as well.
They do. Well, I've heard
I don't
Tony
reckon any of
Hawkins
them
is like going, boys, I just want to stay here.
I
And
reckon
he's letting them go and get people.
I reckon they go, we just rather be down here. We love each other. Let's all take pay cuts and let's win flags or play finals. They're there every year.
That was a story years ago.
It's in their culture. It's like, I feel like you're not, they go down there. They might have a couple, but most blokes are just happy to be paid unders and win games. You know, they play finals every year. So,
but that's a big credit then to Stephen Wells, Andrew Mackey, the guys putting the list together.
Simon Lloyd's there now as well. He's he's a good mate of ours, the families, and he looked after me at Freo he was like the senior assistant and the head of development, and he's now the GM there. And he's been there for 4 or 5 years. So I've watched him lose a few finals. So I was stoked for him. Mate, it was a great story. Like, as we said, we wish it was a bit closer, but there's so many good stories. Like Stangl, you could talk about him.
And we will.
We'll go on all of them, but there's just a lot of good stories that come out of this.
Last one on Joel as well, and more of a passing one, but the end of the game when Dane Rampy got up and made his speech. And I was at the game. That was a moment where, again, I got goosebumps even hearing that. Like,
what did he say? Because I couldn't hear
he got up and, obviously it's a tough time. He spoke so well when he got up there and obviously making the captain's speech when you lose. And he said, credit to Geelong and do this and do that and thanked his sponsors and spoke for a while. But then he said, I just want to give a shout out to...
sometimes you've got to pinch yourself when you play against greats.
Yeah, you've got to pinch yourself when you're playing against giants of the game. And, like, I was just like, fucking hell. I was like, I'm pinching myself watching this bloke.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm fucking 400 metres from him. Like, it was just... I don't know. It was a very, very nice moment, and it was huge. It was funny. This is all on the public stage where Joel's getting seen doing this stuff, right? So you think, okay, well, he's doing this in front. But I actually spoke to we have the same manager at TLA. Shout out to Cam Ruffett. I always have a joke with him and say, surely I'm the best bloke you manage. Like, I'm the best bloke. Like, I'm always not. We always do. I always do everything. We're best blokes. And he goes, there's only one bloke better than you, and it's Joel Selwood.
Yeah.
He said Joel is just the most thoughtful fucking bloke that whenever anything happens, he's sending flowers, he's sending this, he's sending that. So he's doing it off field as well.
Yeah, he's paying it forward,
which is huge. Should we all make out with him?
Yeah,
give him a kiss.
You like kissing your dad on the lips? You might as well kiss the big fella on the lips as well.
We should. Hey, Zach Tui, no one I'd talk about, former teammate of mine, come over from Ireland.
Yep.
to be honest, putting good resume forward for one of the best Irish recruits to play AFL now. What he's been able to do, 250, won a flag,
I got
pivotal
some
role.
feedback on him actually.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, he went up to get his medal. He just didn't give it enough with the flag. Do you remember the flag?
No,
when
he
he brought
needed
it
to
up?
do a jig like Ty
Yeah,
Kennelly did.
like,
I reckon that
sorry
would've
to
been
cut you
anything.
off and go negative
that's
here,
fine.
but I just wanted more from him on the stage.
Well, mate,
I was
they're
so happy
humble.
for him.
They're
I'm like,
humble.
I know, but he's got the flag behind him, and like, come on, give it a nut. He gave it. It was what you call don't
Bit
go
more.
half pregnant. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Just
yeah.
go, you're all in or you're
Yeah.
not doing
Yeah,
it.
okay.
He
Fair
should have
call.
just thrown that flag around, done the Irish jig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That would
carried
have been
on.
anything.
Would
I
it-
would have stood up and applauded.
Yeah.
He had
Maybe
done
we
that,
just
but-
want some more entertainment because it was an 88 point or whatever it was.
we
But
fell
yeah,
asleep.
he went up there. So next time he wins it, if you want to win one next year, if you're listening, I want you to really give it a nudge there, big fella.
Yeah, he's done well. Absolutely huge.
But yeah, you're right. Now that you said he's one of the greatest Irish
I reckon he
players of all
he'd
time,
have to
who
be.
else is up there then?
Ty
Ty
McCarthy, Jim
Kennelly,
Steins.
yeah, Jim Steins, Ty Kennelly, Zach Tui, I reckon would be the top three at the moment. You'd have to think.
I can't think of any others.
Mark
Yeah.
O'Connor's another one who's now won a flag. So
Fucking hell, crazy.
A couple of Irishmen.
What's your thoughts, Lidsey? I'll get your ones on this, being in the coaching game more than us, but of Chris Scott.
yeah, I've spoken about this quite a bit of late because I did a talkback thing like maybe 2020 when they lost that final, and everyone was like, "Oh, Chris Scott, he's got to go." You know, keep making these finals and we keep losing. I was like, "Hang on a second. How fucking ungrateful are you? You're winning more than you're losing.
Yeah.
You're playing in finals. You've missed it once. I think it was 2015." And you know they're so harshly criticising Chris Scott, and I feel like it's the Australian culture. You know, in the NBA, the NFL, anything above 500, we're celebrating. You know, if you win more games than you lose for the year, that's a win. You win the AFC championships or whatever it is, it's like, we put the cap on, we spray the champagne, put the goggles on. But here in Australia, if you don't win the flag, it's a failure. You know, so I loved what he's been able to do in terms of just the. They can get back to the finals again with the way they're playing, but now with the change in style, move the ball faster, take the game on a little bit more, got two big pillars up front who kick goals. Like he's gone, you know what, I'm going to listen to some of my assistants around me and, you know, take that on as well as keep some of the fundamentals that we had. So a huge pat on the back for him, absolutely.
I reckon as well, early days, he had that bit of a dogged mentality of going, you know what, I want to fucking back my players. A bit like Dimmer does, you know, where they, no matter what happens, they just back their players, which is great. But also I think that it's not great to do that to the media and just be like, I'm just backing them all the time. And I think this year there was like an article written about Dangerfield going like he has to lose a little bit of weight to get back to his best. And,
Yeah, it was
and
Kane
I thought,
Corns,
Kane Corns. And Chris Scott went on the Sunday Footy show and I was watching it. And I was like, here we go. Fucking Chris Scott's just going to have a go at him and do the same old whatever. And he goes, you know what, Kane? I didn't mind the article. It's not a good point. It's not a bad point. You know, when you get older, it's always good to strip weight. And he was just so much more calculated. And I was like, I fucking love this bloke. Like that was the best answer I'd ever seen, the way you treat journos. Like it's actually very easy to get journos on your
get your back
side.
up.
You just admit it.
sorry, you can't, yeah.
You just admit it. You know, you say good point, but this, that, and everything. So I think he's really
help
worked
them
that.
understand what your side of it is, but also understanding their point that they're making. Yeah,
Like those days of sort of Ross Lyon and Mick Moldhouse going back at him, it just doesn't work because they just
being
want you more.
prickly.
You know, it just doesn't work.
Who
So
are
I think
their
he's done it well.
assistants at Geelong?
Well, they've only got two seniors, and that's James Kelly and Grigger.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So his first year as a senior assistant, Grigger, I'm talking about, up from development. So you've seen the rise of their young players and how they've been able to add like Myers and Stengel, not Stengel so much, but Close, Maxie Holmes before he got injured. You know, so he's gone from that into a senior assistant and premiership assistant coach.
Eddie Betts, is he a senior or development?
No, he's development.
Development. Yep.
Yeah, I just think you're right with what you said about people are so quick to judge. And that's what people are doing about Sydney right now. They're saying it's a failure. It's not a failure. They had an unbelievable year.
Yeah.
You know, like they had an unbelievable year. If you're sitting there going, oh, Sydney suck, you're kidding yourself.
Yeah.
To make the grand final with the list they did, they had an amazing year. You know, coming
Think
second.
about who they lost to, Jordan Dawson and George Hewitt last year. Like two senior players.
I just think they did. No one would have predicted them to be where they were, and you know now that they've fallen a little bit short at the end, they should pat themselves on the back because they had a fantastic year.
Yeah.
They just unfortunately met Geelong at. I
they're
think
hot.
they just peaked. You know, you're talking about peaking. All their players were just prime for that game, fitness wise, like Danger and even Selwood. They were all getting managed beautifully during the finals.
There is like a little bit to it, and you were the only one who stayed a year after we left the Giants. So after they got absolutely pumped in that grand final, do you reckon Sydney for one, do you reckon the Giants had scars, which is probably a little bit obvious now? And how does Sydney bounce back
I've got a
next
stat
year?
on that.
Yeah. Okay. How do you reckon they go? I think they don't make the 8 the next year. Is that true?
Well, no teams won a final the year after being beaten by 70+ points or something. So teams have come back and played finals, but no one's won a final. So
Really?
the Dogs did it this year. They played a final but didn't win.
Wow.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So once you get pumped in a grand final, we'll repeat that stat. So once you lose by over 50 points, you normally don't come back and win a final.
It's more than, I think it's 60 or 70, maybe 70 points.
Shit.
So you look at the Giants just recently, the Dogs last year getting smacked.
I reckon Sydney will be back. I know that.
I do too, but it's not as long as they don't sit back and be like, we'll just turn up again and we'll make it happen and we'll get back there. Because as soon as you do that,
that can scar you though, mate. They were genuine, and as they should be, like they were genuinely devastated.
Yeah.
Which
they came out and they said we're embarrassed by it. It's like talk about all days and not turn up. Like it's, and I get it. Things just don't go your way, but
they do have such a good list though. Like.
Oh, they do.
So many good
but
young players.
I mean, we talk about Big Bud. Like, he looked as old as 50 men, didn't he, out there, the
He
big
should be
fella?
at Mad Monday with Geelong, with the old... Nah, it's just the ball wasn't down there, though, as well. People get a bit harsh. I think they had 29 inside 50s.
Yeah.
You can't fucking do much with 29 inside 50s. You know, like when you're not getting the ball in there...
No.
I know you're... And then what happens as well, you're chasing a lot of arse, so you run out of gas.
Yeah,
and it's funny, you're like, what do you mean you run out of gas? You're chasing bodies everywhere, you know?
Mate.
But you're right, that's what happens.
I'm the first to admit that.
No, that's what I mean.
I
It's
don't
like,
want to write off old blokes at all because I think we do it too quick. But
I just think it's funny that, I would have loved a game where there was at least 45 inside 50s to 60. Yeah, it'll give them a chance. The ball wasn't in there. They got smoked in the midfield. We spoke about that last week. They didn't get near it in the midfield.
Yeah. Speaking of midfield, Dangerfield of vintage, wasn't it, on the weekend? Like,
he probably had one hand on the norm he had.
Yeah.
Isaac not going so well.
I felt like the commentators were really trying their best to pump him up, which is fine. He was amazing. But Isaac Smith was that far in front of anyone.
No, he definitely was.
But you don't see a lot of what he does. He gave off 6 goals. Like
Isaac
6 direct goals.
I think Isaac had 14 score involvements.
Yeah,
though.
and Danger had 13.
Yeah, okay. Because as I said, I was at a house party. We couldn't.
What I loved about Dangerfield's game the most was like genuinely there was parts where like he picked up the ball, shouldn't have been able to get out of it, and just fucking said, "Get the fuck off me." He was shrugging his shoulders like back to Adelaide days.
He was explosive, wasn't he?
We talk about like 50-50 balls. He was 30-70 against him and still go through and just barge him out of the way and get it going forward.
Which we kind of said that, didn't we? So he's just going to throw his body. He was super. He was second best on ground by a mile. But Isaac Smith's first half was as
well, you can't argue with 32 and 3, can you? Like it's a pretty good game for a wingman.
25 and 3, midway or through the third or something, So it's just a monster day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Dangerfield, it's great. He's got his, what is he, 8-time All-Australian, Brownlow medalist.
Everything.
He almost got the norm, as we said. He come probably second of field, and he's got the flag. He's going to go into media.
He's got another year left.
I think so. Yeah.
Do they go again, boys?
Yeah. Who does anyone obviously Joel's the one that's been put up at the moment, and on Joel before. I know we'll literally talk about him all day, but I think it's so classic of him to he would not want to make this time about himself. So if he does retire, he'll do it under the radar. He will just go off into the distance. And
do you think he's going to retire?
I don't think he needs to, but if it was me, I just don't think you can finish your career any better than that. And you always want to go out on top. You want to go out, I feel anyway, you want to go out at the peak of your game. You don't want people to go, oh, fuck, he could have gone one more. You'd rather people say he could have gone one more than someone say, oh, he should have retired last year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, mate, he's played 355 games. Like, how many more do you need?
But what if you can win another flag?
What if? Yeah, what if?
It's not that easy.
You only had bullshit.
You just won a granny, as I was saying before, he's off air. You've just won by 80 plus or whatever. What was the actual score?
But Joel Selwood next year, he could potentially, as much as you don't want to see this, he could potentially see himself in the VFL next year.
Nah, he wouldn't play there.
You could.
If you're going to do it, he'd have to just be managed all the way through. He'd play every second game or something.
He just wouldn't play at the end of the year if he got to that point. But I think maybe that he might be able to.
But he would, because he'd just
then it's another selfish.
Do it.
Not selfish, but it's saying, well, I'm going to take a list spot. Even and then if he gets to halfway through the year and he's banged up and he can't get going, he's not in the senior team. There's a list. Well, I suppose you got the mid-season draft now, which is a bit different.
Yeah.
But
who comes in for him then? They always go, we'll give it up. And
I would have said Hopper if Hopper was going to go there, but he's not.
Hopper's gone. Yeah, he's gone to Richmond.
Holmes.
Holmes the outside.
You got Tanner Bruin coming in from the Giants as well.
Look, I'll be honest. I reckon I'm good at reading people's body language, and I was like, "What's going?" I couldn't hear, as I said. I was at the house party, but I saw the way
you said that 4 times.
Yeah, but you're at home by 5 o'clock. No, I couldn't hear, but I could see a lot of tears in that. Only when they were around Joel, I thought he'd actually retired.
Yeah, They
he
could have been
hadn't.
just happy that he'd won one now as skipper
Yeah.
and whatever else.
Yeah, for sure.
You can draw conclusions everywhere, really.
Sam
So you
DeConing.
think, just wait, you
Okay.
think he's retiring?
I don't know.
Don't sit on the
okay,
fence.
I'll say yes. I'll
You
say
think he's
yes.
done?
Yeah. I don't think he's
No.
done. I'm just
No,
saying
he's
I
gonna
think
retire,
I think
sorry.
he
I agree.
will. Yeah.
I think he will too.
It looks like he's going to retire from watching him, but yeah, I reckon he's got one more left in him.
Yeah, but that's
I
the
wouldn't be
best way to go.
surprised. I'm sort of happy either way. But I'm just saying I think
He's broken.
fairy tale,
Mm.
like a chapter of a book, go and see you later. Like the whole MCG was calling out this bloke's name. The opposition
Really?
captain's calling him a legend. Like everyone's going.
Did you see how many hugs
There-
Gill gave him? He's like, this guy's the king of the AFL.
There was
He is.
more. There was more Selwood chance at the MCG
really?
than there was Geelong chance at
That's
the MCG.
unbelievable.
So like it was just
That's so good.
you couldn't. I just don't think you can do that again.
He's a goat.
Like, I don't think you can
See,
do
he's
it again.
broken all the records, so you don't need to go again.
No.
Literally. One bloke that, we talk about how old the Geelong Cats are that they've said before the retirement village, Sam DeConing. How exciting is that?
He's so enjoyable to watch.
He's unbelievable.
After the game, he was as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's-
Woo!
yeah. Did you see? He has 10 brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I heard
10
that.
brothers and sisters. They were all on the ground after the game together.
His mum stole the show. We interviewed his mum on the ABC straight after the game. She jumped on
She's
for a bit
a
of a chat.
legend.
She was
Good value.
just some of it, like she's just not backward in coming forward in terms of what she thinks and what she's. Anyway, she's good value. Like, she goes, I'm the queen of the AFL now.
So good.
Self-titled.
How good's
Oh,
that?
she is.
What's he worth? Because as we said earlier,
Everything.
those players, the
Not if you want
older
to stay at
guys,
Geelong. You can't
I
be
know.
worth everything.
Yeah.
Oh, long-term contract.
Yeah.
but
Back
those
end
older
it, back end
players,
it.
they did it to get Dangerfield. They did it to get the big names that they get in. Then the senior boys take a bit of a cut. What would you be paying him? Like, what's he worth now? 800.
Oh, jeez, that's only his first real year at it. 800's a big shout.
Well, would you say he's worth more than Luke Jackson?
Well, on form. Well, and what he's actually produced,
Puts
they're
the-
different players.
Puts the blokes that are on $1 million to sleep every week. Like every player that he's played on has not kicked a goal. Or would you say the stat that they haven't had a mark on or something? He just doesn't lose contested marks. Someone said that stat.
I
the
reckon
other
a
day.
big centre half back, fullback's more important than a ruckman.
Well, that's what McGovern was on 1-1, you reckon,
Yeah.
or 1-2 is reported. I don't know whether Rancy ever got to something like that.
Oh, he's just special, mate. Him and Jezza like being and
The
obviously
spine on him, man. The spine.
It's all about the spine. Tell me a list that's like that's why I think we'll talk about Carlton later. Their spine's delicious, but it is. It's delicious. The Carlton spine is just it's just delicious. But this bloke is so fucking good.
Yeah.
He's so good and he's so composed. Like I said,
He's a chiller, man. He's a
and
real
so is
surfy
Jezza. So you got
dude.
Jezza down the
just
other end.
chill.
He's just chilling up there. The
Yeah.
big emu running around. You got the emu one, and you got this young kid down the other end. Their future's so bright.
Yeah.
You pay
Lastly,
him whatever he wants, to be honest.
grand final day on a wrap. Are we happy with the day or do you want it night? I'm pretty strong on the day. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, but then I was watching Robbie Williams and I'm like, how cool would this have been if it was at night with all the show and the lights and the fireworks and all that?
But if you want that, go see Robbie Williams at a concert.
That's true.
I just
That's true.
Dill doesn't like that.
I loved Robbie
with you.
Williams.
I'm with you. Like, I'm a traditionalist as well, and
Yeah.
I like the 2:30 start. I like the
I
idea.
loved it.
I got in there really early. There was a
Same.
game on before it, so I was there at 9:30. And there's people already setting up in the car parks. They got barbecues going on.
I love it.
I loved all that. Rode the train in. Rarely ride the train. Rode the train in with people with flags and scarves and whatever. But yeah, I just think about the spectacle. Could it be better? Maybe even twilight. I don't know. Just gives it a later finish. Means blokes don't drink as much piss, probably.
Oh, it's good. I went and had a beer down Main Street of Richmond, just a couple before went to the next venue, and it was just humming. I think you got to go daytime, like you said, Dill, and mate, the town was rocking, and they had 100,000. What's the first time ever? Is it?
100,000.
It was the biggest one since 1986.
So it's the game's in. It's going well.
Yeah, tell
Full
Gil.
capacity, 100,000 and 24. It's the most you can get in.
Huge.
It's so good.
Any comments on Swans?
I think complacency will be the thing that they can't afford to have going forward next year.
Yeah.
It's not no God-given right to go into the granny or make the finals next year. So it's going to take a lot of hard work, and they've got the young list that can do it. Watch this space in terms of who they can attract potentially to their club. I reckon they should be active.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if they're listening, they had a great year. They should be getting around each other. They had a shit last game, but they had a super year. Looking forward to seeing the McCartan brothers go to the next level.
Yeah.
Got a lot of youth.
Warner, Goulden,
Yeah,
Campbell.
Florin, Hayward, all those boys. They're quite young. They stand up in big games. They're going to be fine. They just got to, they're the type of group and club. Talk about culture. I can't see them folding.
Nah,
They're going to
nah.
go, fuck that stung, that hurt, let's get back to work.
Well, they're two pillars, really, in terms of who stood up for both clubs, aren't they? Geelong and Sydney. They're the two ones that everyone seems to be
Culture.
like destination culture.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, why wouldn't you?
No, I agree. I think Stevens,
Dawson, he's good,
Goulden,
wasn't he?
all the
Dawson.
boys, they got a great club. Anyway, so very, very good. But lastly, I will say one thing we did learn, and this is publicly, we're just recycling everything now. You saw it on the other club. You look at Max Holmes, unfortunately didn't play the game.
Yep.
Did not fail a test. Did not fail at all. They
Did
got
everything
him
right.
up to win it. Did absolutely everything right. They said, no, you still can't play. You look at the other hand, you take in Reed, unfortunately, which, look, I always think it's really shit when it's a player's call because a player's always going to say, I'm
right.
good to go.
Yeah.
They're always going to say
You're going
that.
to try and act tough.
You got to act tough, but also you believe in yourself that you're doing it. I know there's that, the pressure Giacomo saying, you got to pull yourself out. But any player, I feel, will say, you know what, fucking, I'm going to get this through. I can do it. If you feel like you're going to be best for your team. So I think the coaches and the medical staff actually need to be the ones to put their hand up for that.
Yep.
That was a terrible call. We know now, absolutely terrible call. You look at the other end of Geelong, they made the exact same one. Apparently, young bloke as well, number 27 from Sydney. McInerney had a sprained ankle, who was playing on Isaac Smith, was just, struggled through the game a little bit too. So I think we've just learned this. You cannot take injured
No
blokes
question
in the grand
marks.
finals.
Can't have it. And we
Well, I just
saw
think
it
you
with
can
our
have
Giants
one.
boys.
I think you can have one with that sub. And I reckon if they didn't have a plan B, knowing this was going in, then I'm surprised they dropped who they did. I thought they would have went back to the bench.
McDonald?
Yeah, I just found that one real. They're out of the squad, not even sit on the pine because Reed was an injury cloud. I just found that quite interesting because he plays that deep forward. He probably doesn't play ruck, but
They brought in McLean, who hadn't played for.
you know what
Since
I
round
mean?
8.
Did you
But
find that bizarre?
I did find it weird because you think about it. If Reed's not playing, which he was injured, he probably shouldn't have. We shouldn't have. Logan McDonald is then taking nearly all those contests anyway. So he's like going to be taking that role where there was used to be 3 of them, Buddy, Reed and him. Then you bring in, you upscale him a little bit. He's taking those stuff.
It would have been a shocking match committee to call
maybe
it.
Horse might hire us, which is sad because Horse, I love the Horse, but he just, obviously said it always comes down to the coach, but all of the coaches need to take responsibility for
who
that.
was the sub again?
Braden Campbell.
That's right.
Yeah.
Plate went
Good.
down back.
Good little player. Lastly, on Buddy,
Yep.
he's 2 flags from 6 now. 6 times he's been in the granny, which is actually quite incredible. But to lose double what you've won is
Yeah, and none
pretty
up at Sydney.
heartbreaking.
Is that right? Yeah,
One at Sydney.
No, he won 08 and
Oh,
so
sorry.
he hasn't
He hasn't
won one
won
at
one
Sydney.
for Sydney.
No,
There
that's
you
what I'm saying.
I'll
It's
go
like,
back there because I'll jump in.
I had a Scottish friend of mine, of my wife's, her husband, and he's like, and he doesn't know a lot about footy, but follows the Swans. He's like, you'd have to say it's a failure, wouldn't it? It's Buddy going up there. It hasn't won a flag, And I was like, if you're looking at it in terms of flags, then probably, because they haven't won one since he's been there. They've been in a few. But you
could even say that about, that's like the age-old argument of Judd versus Kennedy.
Yeah.
Like Chris Judd coming to Carlton, Josh Kennedy going to West Coast. They win that one in 2018. It's like, who wins that trade as well?
Wow.
You'd have to say West Coast.
You would, absolutely.
Which is
the
crazy.
Blues played finals how many times? When Juddy was there? 2010, 2013? Or
once, I
just
think.
2013?
Twice.
And that was by
twice.
default the second time round. So do the math.
Crazy.
Yeah, look, boys, I'm not going to comment on that. I got no idea.
No, well, neither do I, mate. We're just here to
6
have an
grand.
opinion.
I'm just talking about this is opinion. It's not fact or it's not.
You're not a
I don't
scientist.
sit that way because you look at everything as a whole.
Yeah, for
with
sure. Memberships, bums on seats.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and he's
exactly.
that big for Sydney up there. And it's probably a big reason why he's gone around again.
100%.
They understand.
They've
what
got there, though. They've got there. They just. Do you have the over there? Do you know how many when he lost? Were they close games? Bulldogs. There you go. So Bulldogs flip of the coin. Boy doesn't kick that goal. Flip of the coin, and he's a superstar, and it was the best thing they've ever done. I think it just.
Yeah,
it's a good discussion.
To be
though.
honest, as well, you can argue the point that he's got them to all those grand finals.
Oh, mate.
It probably has. To be honest,
the old marathon. Geelong's list was so healthy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's healthy as.
Health is wealth.
Health
It
as well.
is.
Hey, moving back to the Brownlow, Cripple wins the Brownlow.
Yep.
I was lucky enough to sit down with Michael Voss last week for a little show. I had 20 minutes with him, which I was not often do. We're very lucky in the AFL where we get to meet a lot of people, so you don't really get to, not starstruck in front of people. I sat down with Michael Voss the other day and was genuinely excited to chat to this bloke. Like, a hero of mine growing up, my favourite player, probably ever, really. Like, growing up, watching Brisbane win on those flags, sat down with this bloke and had a chat with him. Just an unreal dude.
Yep.
Got me thinking, though, Cripple wins the Brownlow, and this is next year now, talking 2023. I want to get our tips and everything going into it.
Okay.
2023, Carlton have 3 All-Australians this year, They've got the last 2 Coleman medalists and a Brownlow medalist going into season 2023.
It's exciting, isn't
It's
it?
an exciting time.
Delicious, did you say?
Yeah, they win the flag next year.
Wow.
Do they?
Nah, no, I don't know. But
Make
they
your case.
They let me down this year. I said
They
they'd
did.
play. I was the only one that, not you. You didn't. You wrote them off.
No, but I was
Yeah, you
saying
were
it.
you were on
Carlton.
Hawthorn.
I was off.
Yeah, you took Hawthorn over
I
Carlton.
was saying it because I didn't want to
I
get my
tipped
own
Cribber
hopes up.
for the Brownlow.
You
so
did. I congratulate. That
Yeah,
was early
thanks.
in the year too.
Yeah.
What'd you get him at $19 or something?
He was 17. So I don't know. I thought he got suspended, but forgot about it. But he didn't. He got off. No, I just think he's a gun, and he was injured. But yeah, like you said, talk about the spine. Their spine's delicious.
Yeah. Blake Acres about to come onto
Blake's
the wing.
coming over. They got a lot of depth. They had a few injuries as well, but
Zachy Williams hardly
we
played.
were talking about this as well because they didn't make finals. It's actually a great thing for next year. They get a
100%.
softer
Shit
draw.
form,
They get a softer draw, and then they can get their tails up and they can do things like Collingwood got the momentum and they just missed out on a granny. Carlton have that fan base as well. It's like you said, they
Oh,
got.
mate, Lygon's trying to be pumped.
They could do what Richmond did.
Jimmy will
just
be down there
click.
shaking hands.
No,
he'll be
No,
shaking
it's
the
up
bacon.
every game.
He'll be cashing
He
on
just
free
walks
fees.
He'll
through,
be
he
doing
just walks-
catches and he'll be emceeing his old man, won't he?
Eggplant
Nick Barlow will be at the back doing
parmesanas,
me
just
cafe
walking
ads.
from fucking Universal Cafe to Danini's up and down. He's just loving
as
it.
a ex-Carlton player,
Star, yeah.
superstar.
Yeah.
You should be very excited because
I am.
You'll be just. It's going to be very exciting.
You won't have a
next 5
weekend.
years.
No, well, I won't go to many games throughout the season. I only
No,
go
but
to
you'll
the
be
finals.
hosting
He only goes to the finals.
I only go to the finals. Don't bother me.
And
throughout
that's
the year.
when we say finals, the big one.
Yeah,
the big
just
one.
one.
The big dance.
Don't bother me throughout the home and away season. I don't care. Just
In
get
bed
it done
by-
and we'll meet you in
No
September.
night games.
But it is an exciting time. And I do joke around about Carlton watching the footy a lot, but hand on heart, I do love the Navy Blues. And I try and nearly play it down because it does hurt when, it does. You'd have the boys have the same thing, I'm sure, Richmond and all that stuff, in your blood. It does hurt when they're not going the way they want. You almost want to talk yourself out of it than let it actually be a possibility. So I think next year is going to be a big one. It's going to be really exciting. I think, as I was saying before, going back to Michael Voss, I put my hand up now going, fuck, I didn't think he was going to be the right guy for the coaching role, but geez, looks like it's going pretty well.
No, mate, it seems he's learned a heap since having the coaching job for the Lions and then all his years under Kenny Hinkley. So
That's what he said. I said, what's your biggest learning from Brisbane to here? And he said, basically paraphrasing, he just said, I was a control freak. Didn't let anyone do anything. I'd absolutely work my fucking ass off, spend no time with the players, take every meeting, do everything. Now I'm all about delegation, let the coaches do their thing, trust them, and I spend time with the players and have fun.
Well, he's one of the greatest that there was, wasn't he, in terms of captaincy,
Yeah.
but the way he played. I loved him as well. I was lucky enough to have a beer with Simon Black on Saturday night after the game. I told him how much I loved him.
Oh
There's a
my
photo.
God, I
Someone
love
snapped the photo of him deep in conversation,
Jeez,
headlock.
What a stay.
We were meant to have him on the pod and we fucked the day up.
Oh, really?
And I've lost the opportunity to sit down with him. I would have Blackie and Vossi in a day.
Oh,
That
I said to him, I used to admire you so
10-year-old
much.
me would have just been I don't know what it would have been to him.
Yeah, that midfield. Ackermanis. Are they mates with Acker? Does he get
I
around?
didn't see Acker then. It was
Yeah.
a premiership.
Nah, yeah.
Oh, really?
On the Saturday. No, they had the Sunday, but and Andy McLeod was in there too in the same place.
He's a star.
So moving on, next year, 2023, give us your top two, your grand finalist teams. Carlton's one for mine.
Yeah, I got Richmond. I reckon they're going to bounce with
fuck.
if they can get
If they
Hopper
get-
and Torano in there. Look out.
Yeah, I think Richmond will be right there. And I think it's going to be top two's hard as.
Yeah.
I'll give you 4. Can I give my top 4?
Yeah, sure.
So I think it's Richmond, Geelong again. I think Melbourne will bounce.
Yeah.
And
Brisbane.
with if Dunkley's going there and they get the number 1
So
pick.
Freo,
national-
Collingwood back out.
I think they'll be in the 8, but they'll be just done. I think it'll be Collingwood, Freo, Carlton, and
Swans.
Swans. Yeah, I think Swans will be there.
Okay.
So if you're not,
Yeah.
but the competition's never been closer, has it?
No.
This year's.
So
gotta
do
be-
you
you
reckon
can't see
Melbourne?
the
You reckon
Suns, but-
Melbourne? Because Melbourne go down by 1 point in the end, or 5 points. They won't make the top 4 next year.
No, I said Melbourne.
Oh, you did say Melbourne.
Yeah, I said
Yeah,
Melbourne.
said
yeah.
Melbourne, yeah.
Tom McDonald going out hurt them so much. People just from structure, I just thought, they just didn't look the same when he was out.
You know who is actually going to be a huge player next year for Melbourne is the Van Ruin. I think I said his name wrong last week. I watched him twice in the VFL on the weekend. Ever since then, I'm seeing the bloke everywhere. Everyone's talking about him. This kid's going to be a genuine star. If anyone hasn't seen
He
him,
could be a key post that they need up front.
Yeah.
Because I don't reckon that they function that well down forward.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit on the fence, but it's so hard to call the top 4
No,
this
it is.
far out. You don't
Yeah.
even know who's getting traded. Like McStay from Brisbane, does he go to the Pies? Does Grundy go to Melbourne? All that stuff makes a huge difference on who you're going to select.
Where's Freo sit for you?
I'm a bit worried about Freo.
Really? You think it might have been a bit of a flash this year? And
Oh, just if Lobby goes, or depending on what Lobby does, and if Griff goes, like, who's their forwards?
I don't think Luke Jackson's the answer up forward.
So I'm saying, but who's their full, like Tabs?
Yeah.
And then who? You got 2 or 3,
Tracy-
5. He's going to play
Tracy-
middle.
Tracy.
Tracy goes. Yeah, Tracy goes hard. I mean, again,
He's 196.
I love Freo's midfield. I love
boy.
their back. Freo's midfield and back line.
Sun's still not there. They can't get in.
Suns. Oh, there you go. They're on the way up as well. Oh, it's
They
fucking
get
hard.
their
It's
full
so
forward
hard.
back this year. Like he's
Yeah.
off
Well,
a
Clint
knee.
King's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then oh mate, it's going to be good fun. It's like the NFL. You don't know who's going to win. That's what I hope. I hope it's just so close that the last 3 rounds of the year are finals
Yeah.
because there's nothing better
Well,
than
how
those.
good was that round 23 Carlton Collingwood
Oh,
game?
mate.
Like that was one of the best
How
games
lucky-
I've ever been a part of.
How lucky's
been a
everyone
good
been
season.
this year?
Yeah.
It's been the best season to watch. Just from you just put the TV on and just watch the game. You're not really going for anyone. And it's always come down to a kick.
Yeah.
Especially a Collingwood fan. It's been some of the best games I've seen.
Yeah.
Finishing up, we always finish on trade rumours. Is there anything new?
Anything new?
Max Sport's one of the greatest.
Oh, well, the guys. Well,
Yeah.
if I was a
You
young
might
man,
be-
I'd
might
be
be a little
signing
If I was
up.
a young man listening
I'll
and
be
I need a
signing up
manager,
with
I think he
Brittles.
just had 6 calls. How busy is this bloke
It's like
since
they
he's
say,
done that
just
Cam Zerha deal?
sign me.
You'd
Yeah.
know. Any whispers that you can talk about?
There's a couple of things going on, but not that I know that's hard and fast. Yeah.
How long does this trade period go for?
Week and
2
a half.
weeks, yeah.
And
It's-
how many
it starts
trades-
on next Monday?
How many trades get done in the first half versus the back half?
Oh yeah, well that's a good question.
They always
Should go
hold off,
squeeze
don't
into,
they?
Squeeze into 3 days, if you ask me. But Riley Beveridge was talking to my workmate Tommy, and he said he reckons there's going to be 40 or 50 trades done. Like,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so it keeps you entertained, doesn't it? Like trade radio's already started, and they're talking from 7 o'clock in the morning.
I fucking love it.
Trade radio is
Some
like the
people,
number
some people
one
just
channel.
cashing on.
Mate, I love it.
Yeah, I think trade isn't that like the number one listen?
Second
Is it?
behind Dylan Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call.
There you go.
But yeah, no, there should be a fair bit happening. There might be a few like guys that you don't know a heap about that just change for a fresh opportunity and whatever else. But
What clubs are going to lose the most? You reckon?
I think Freo are probably
Freo.
the ones that I'd be nervous about.
They got to get something back, don't
Like
they?
Darcy, Tucker, Lobby, Logue.
Oh yeah, Mickey. What are the
Meek,
Giants?
yeah.
The Giants have to get something in there.
Yeah.
They've got to get
You'd
something.
hope so.
done. They got a lot of young picks.
They need to
wouldn't
get someone from.
yeah.
They're losing
Richmond.
Hopper
I know it's not what we need, and
Toronto.
you
They've got
guys
to
always yell at me when we say midfielders, but Jack Graham now looking that he's happy to jump ship somewhere.
Yeah, I think he will. If Hopper and Torino are coming into a midfield that I'm a part of and I'm the 23rd man,
Yeah.
I think I'm looking for other opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would hurt knowing
Yeah.
that's happening.
Geez, Jack Graham at Carlton would be nice as well.
I think he's an SA boy though, so
Back to
potentially
Adelaide.
back there. Toby Bedford, Melbourne player, might be a chance somewhere.
Bobby
Maybe the
Hill
Giants.
as well, looking like he's going to go
Collingwood,
to
he
the
said.
Pies.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
get done. I think his manager is on there saying today that that'll get done.
Wow.
Pretty
Bobby
quick.
said Essendon last year. Now he's going to the rivalry in Collingwood.
Yeah.
Jeez, what didn't he?
He gets
didn't he
Anzac Day.
skip a great one on that?
Yeah, he's gone. He's probably going to the right club that's hot. It's going to be good to see him in that forward line. Can you imagine it?
Oh, it'd be great. Even with McStay. To be honest, I never knew much about him that much, but watching him in the final series, I think it'd be huge for Collingwood next year.
As a second ruck, he was really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
As a forward, not so much.
Are there any? I'm a big one on assistants now. I feel like you said Vossi just lets people coach.
Yeah.
So if you actually look at assistants and suss out who they got, you can really find out. Oh, actually, I don't know a few of them, or I know a lot of them.
Yeah.
And that's why they went really well.
So I've got one. Again, this isn't. I don't know if this guy's been brought up a lot, but I feel like next year, a coach that we so heavily sought after and will be a senior coach in the next 2 years that no one's probably really talking about yet is Ash Hansen.
Yeah.
Former West Coast Eagle, coached at the Bulldogs, unbelievable under Beveridge. Then he went to Carlton. I think they even asked him to apply
Interview.
for the Essendon job, but he said, nah, I want to have another year to go.
He's
But
only had 1 year under Vossi.
1 year under Vossi, but watch his space for him. He's going to be an
Yeah.
incredible senior coach.
He left Doggies, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, they spoke about how it's a bit of a hole he's left
Yeah.
because he was so good.
So did
and,
King, I reckon.
Yeah.
King went up to the Suns. I reckon he left.
And Ben Rutten's back at Richmond as the backline coach. So they lost the
Truck.
No, they lost King as
so they lost him in income as Ben Rutten.
How
So
funny is that? Richmond have got David Teague
Yep.
and Truck Rutten
Yeah.
back from when they've been sacked and take them straight back. Very
Yeah.
smart by them.
and they got Hopper and Toronto joining their midfield with Prestia.
Not bad, is it?
Oh, it's going to be fucking unbelievable. And Dusty will just play out of the square now, will he?
I would have thought he'd be down there with Jack and Tom Lynch.
And Bolton just chopping.
Oh yeah, Shea Bolton. Forget about him. He was arguably one of the better players in the comp this year with some of his stuff.
Yeah, it could be it's going to be an exciting year like next year. Hopefully it's just chockers again, 100,000. at the G. Fuck, how good.
How good. Hey, boys, been a pleasure. Been very, very, very much of a pleasure. Always a pleasure, never a chore, as I like to say when I'm hanging out with you too. Mickey Barlow as well. We'll catch up early next year. Get this back going again. I've enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, always, mate. Always.
Yeah. Brettles, you enjoyed
Had
it?
a ball, mate.
Yeah, me
Love
too.
talking shit with you.
Wouldn't
man.
come here after watching NFL. I've been up since 3:45 a.m. You know,
Oh,
you've booked
yeah.
this at 3.
Hey.
I'm pretty tired.
I know, but you always bring it. You always bring it.
I always rock up.
You always rock up with a smile.
always
on your
in
That's
face.
your
context.
six coffee.
Yeah. Talk us through quickly what we're up to next. You've got a big couple of weeks with trade
Yeah,
period at Max
yeah,
Sports.
we
What are you doing?
Trade period and then into the draft, the combine and the boys
Yeah.
got their draft coming up and end of November.
Any good
so.
little draft picks we can look our eyes over for those super coach fans
actually
out there?
a big fan of the pod.
Yeah.
Harry Barnett, mate.
We
He's
love Harry
Barney,
Barnett.
big
you know
Barney.
we love Barney.
Probably the
We love
number one
Barno.
ruck in the land. at the
Number one
moment.
ruck?
Yeah.
How tall is Big
Give him a
Barney?
200 plus.
He's 203 or 4, I
There we
reckon.
go.
202 maybe.
And still growing.
Yeah, big unit back. He'd be a good one for you, mate, because he's got a bit of pizzazz about him.
We like that.
Yeah,
Harry Barnett.
he loves the
we'll
show,
watch
and he'd be
this space.
pumped with this little shout out. Don't
We
worry.
love it, Barney.
Barney,
We love you,
look at
mate. We're looking forward to getting you on next year. Rising star. Sheridan, how are you? What do you got going on?
Good. Rick's 6th birthday coming up.
Happy birthday for Rixie boys.
Yeah, 6th birthday. So it's been good. It's been hard work. But we're going to be celebrating in Melbourne. I haven't had a chance because of COVID the last 2 and being at interstate footy
It's been
clubs.
quite sunny lately too.
Been quite sunny. As we know, we've got the discount code Dylan
Dylan
Friends
Friends.
if you want some now. We've got new sunnies on the way that I've been working on. They take so long, man. Like you're designing them and then you go order all the stuff and all the delays. So probably 8 to 9 months worth, of work and patience. They're starting, it's coming now. Spring Carnival around the corner. So a lot of work's going there. The Aces stuff, American
NFL's
Aces.
coming up too. You doing a show?
Yeah, NFL. We've just completed week 3 pretty much. So that's pretty exciting. It's as I said to you, you don't watch much NFL, but it's a bit like what the AFL's doing now. It's very hard to know who's going to win.
Yeah.
They can both rock up on their day and win. So the competition's so equal at the moment.
And what are you doing for the NFL? Can people tune in and watch some NFL stuff?
Yeah, well,
You doing a show?
We're going to do some live streaming stuff soon, but yeah, we just do a lot of podcasts at the American Aces and talk a lot of shit. NBA's around the corner, and then I'm just planning a few things to go to the Super Bowl later in the year. Looking forward to going to there. It's in Arizona, so
And
that'll be
golf's on as well at the same time.
Well,
golf's
what
on
I'm-
2 days before.
So that's
it.
what I'm thinking.
Are you
going
gonna
to
go?
I want to go to the golf.
You should come and just get your head around NFL. It's a bit like golf. You're obsessed now.
Yeah.
You're going
I'll
to be
go to the
obsessed.
I'll go to the golf and I'll come nap at the NFL.
Yeah, you just get. You're doing it the wrong way around, man. You're doing it the wrong way around.
I'm an old man, mate.
You're
I'm
not,
an old
mate.
man.
You're 29. What are you? 29.
29. I got a bad back and a bad
Oh, you're
hairline.
bad. And-
I'm ready to
and the
perch
rest
up.
of
Yeah,
it.
good carbs. I'm done.
Nah, you're not done. You just need to open your mind, mate.
No, I've only got time for so many passions. and
How's your
that's not
golf
one of them.
going? Can you
No,
got
I
a bit
don't-
aggressive the other night at Goz because his handicap's better. I want you to sort that out.
No, that's absolute bullshit, mate. He's
so
an
if someone
absolute.
lies to you about their handicap, that's
Well,
the worst.
it's just like it's not even something I want to.
Are you better than him?
100%.
Well, I'd love to see. You boys have been doing your filming. Why don't you film UV Goz? I'd thoroughly love to watch
No,
that.
Darcy doesn't want to. He's too busy.
He's got Darcy at the More Greens hat on.
No, he's too busy. It's going into. It's going to happen. It'll happen soon. We've got the More Greens Golf Day as well. So 28th, you're both invited. It'll be good.
That's great.
28th
Anything
of
on
October.
your end,
October.
mate? What else is going
No,
on?
that's
your
it,
end?
mate. Now we're just putting all the attention into More Greens. Got the golf day coming up. Got some really things popping with that. So we're very, very excited. Watch this space for that coming very, 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 very soon.
Oh, look, well, mate, thanks for having us as
Hey,
well.
thanks for having us,
This has
Tommy.
been good fun, hasn't it? I wish
love it.
Mickey Barlow was here this will be our
Wrap
last
it up.
one. But
Yeah.
thanks, mate.
We'll see you back next year.
It's been good fun.
Illy XF.